Hi there, Xeonexis coming in. Today I'm going to be showing you one of the strategies I use to win this game, which is probably very effective for players ranked 14 below. So here, I'm using my standard build, 1 construction yard, 2 barracks, 1 assault vehicle factory, 1 power plant, and 2 supply yards. So, as you can see, immediately after building my 2 barracks, I trained 2 infantry each. Alright? So, the highlight I wanna show you this game is the pattern of how I used my infantry to collect the supply containers. Alright? So here, normally, what players would do, after training their infantry, they would move their infantry here to this side, and here to this side. So, what I do here is something different. Instead of using this infantry to move to this side, I use this infantry to rush to the enemy base. Alright? So it serves 2 purposes. 1, it scouts their base. 2, it collects supply containers near their base. So here's the concept. Alright? My headquarters is around in this area. Here. So it's probably the enemy headquarters is around this area, right here. So, if I was the enemy, I'd be building my headquarters here. I'm going to be placing my 2 barracks here. And when I train my infantry, they would go here, here, and here. So, the first resource supply containers they would see are these 1, 2, and 3. But, since my infantry prioritized going here first, before going to the side, then I will be the one to collect those supply containers. So let's see here. I collect this, I collect that. Notice the infantry the enemy built immediately rushed here, and this was the first container he was able to collect. But unfortunately for him, I was the first one to collect it. There. And here. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to collect this one. I don't know why, I think. But here, you can see, after my infantry reaches the enemy base, it scouts a little bit and then proceeds to this area to collect the supply containers here and then moving upwards back to my base. Alright? So there, unfortunately, I was not able to collect that supply container. And as for this infantry, however, I don't know why he returned, probably an error in my part. Alright, so as you can see, the infantry is here, meant to stop the scouts. And the infantry is here, meant to collect the supply containers in this area. 1 and 2. So here you can see my infantry go back to collect the supply container. But here, notice the enemy base here. But the supply containers he was supposed to collect here and here, I managed to collect first. So if there was like 10 or maybe 15, I don't know how many supply containers this map contains, I managed to collect at least 8 or 9, while the enemy only managed to collect 1. Alright? So as you can see, look at my resources, I have 1,595. But what do I have in my base? I already have an assault vehicle factory that's already upgrading to level 2, mass producing 2 KODs. At the same time, I'm going to be using these resources in a while. So I'm going to be using infantry scouting. Again, there are still a lot of resources to collect around this area. So you can see me use my infantry. Unfortunately for that infantry, the resource container here has already been collected. Alright? So there, I'm going to scout this area here regardless. And there, the enemy is scouting my base. It's also an error for my part to let the enemy scout my base. However, I think this actually works as a psychological warfare. It's because if you are the enemy, again, you have like 2 supply yards, probably a power plant here, 2 barracks. But if you scout my base, you see like 2 assault vehicle factories already being constructed, 3 supply yards, and my headquarters already reaching level 2. So that's pretty terrifying if I was the enemy right here. So here, the enemy still hasn't even scouted this area. I managed to collect 2 supply containers. The enemy who was supposed to scout this area first, because of my infantry, I managed to grab the supply containers first. So there, the enemy only managed to grab 1 supply container, which is around this area. Unfortunately, as for the rest, he was not able to grab. which leads me to a lot of advantage, which creates 1. I'm already upgrading my headquarters, I'm already building my 3rd supply yard, I'm already producing 2 assault vehicle factories and 2 barracks. Meanwhile, the enemy has this. The enemy has lesser buildings and lesser units. Right there. So, the enemy unfortunately managed to scout me here, but I'm using this coyote to stop the enemy scout or kill the enemy scout. So, here, I race to get as many supply containers as possible because who knows, there might be supply containers here. Oh, there. So, here, I guess the enemy managed to collect the supply containers here. So, alright. Now, my rifleman and my coyote is near the enemy base. I want to scout the enemy base. So, here you can see the enemy has already upgraded their headquarters to level 2. He's still producing or constructing this supply yard and it has no power because he only has 1 power plant. Alright? So, he has headquarters level 2, 3 supply yards, 1 is still being built, and a power plant, 2 power plants actually, 1 is still being built, and 2 barracks. As you can see, the enemy still has no assault vehicle factory. Meanwhile, if you compare it to my base, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 supply yards, 5th supply yard, and 2 assault vehicle factories, 1 producing 3 armadillos, and 1 is already upgrading to level 2. So there, his infantry, the enemy, has lesser buildings and has lesser units. So here, I'm using my coyote and my rifleman to annoy the enemy. There, here, I'm using my infantry to stop enemy scouts, possibly entering my base even more. So here, I noticed, alright, back in the previous video, I uploaded how to win your game. So step 1, I follow the Step 1, I knew the map. Step 2, I follow the build order. Step 3, I collected the supply containers efficiently, leaving nothing but very little for the enemy to collect, which gave me a very huge advantage. And now, step 4. Step 4. Is my initial strategy viable? Again, the reason why I built 2 assault vehicle factories was for me to mass produce armadillos. So here, seeing the enemy base have no assault vehicle factory, at the same time, not even level 2 barracks, no single unit can defend his base. This made me decide, yes, my initial strategy is very viable. So I went ahead and proceeded to execute my strategy, at the same time annoying my enemy. So see, only then did my enemy start to build the assault vehicle factory. Meanwhile, I already have a coyote and armadillo approaching the base. So here I'm producing rifleman. At the same time, now I have two level 2 assault vehicle factories, mass producing armadillos, destroying enemy scouts along the way, and heading to his base. Right, there we go. So yeah, destroy the enemy ants or annoying creatures first before proceeding to attack the enemy base. Here you can see, when there is smoke there, it means that the factory is producing. So immediately I rushed to attack that assault vehicle factory. So here I am using my coyote to continually scout the enemy base, providing me the right information I need. So I know that the enemy still has no units yet except for this 1 infantry here. I use common attack boost, and I rapidly prioritize destroying the assault vehicle factory. This fortress can only manage to kill my infantry units. However, it's not very effective in terms of destroying vehicles like armadillos or coyotes very much, because its armaments, its weapon is only designed for infantry. So here you can see me rapidly produce multiple armadillos, all thanks to my 2 level 2 assault vehicles. Again, set my rally point to the enemy base and rapidly produce armadillos. And at this point, I knew I have won. I have already destroyed the enemy assault vehicle factory, meaning the enemy has no chance of defending or has no units left to defend except for these barracks. And unfortunately, that's not going to be enough to stop my attack. And that's it. Here I still even have 2 armadillos which I already ordered to move, and then 2 more are coming, and then there is still 6 more being produced. So yeah, that's what I call choking the enemy. and at the same time applying the 6 basic steps to win a game of Art of War. So I guess this is it. Let's just wait for the victory screen. Now, if you have comments, questions, suggestions, or even additional tips that I have not mentioned in this video, feel free to comment down below. Links to download the game and the official game Discord is in the description. And that's it for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Xeonexis over and out.